How to start a podcast on YouTube. Good question. A lot of people really, for some reason, lean towards podcasting. I hear a lot of people talking about it, but there's some distinct advantages to doing podcasting on YouTube, especially for your business. Have you considered it? Well, let's go over that right now. Now, by the end of this video, I'm going to have a special gift for you to really set up your brand new business YouTube channel for success. Now, let's go over even why you would want to put a business podcast on YouTube. And there's some really distinct advantages. And we're going to cover a few of the elements like, some lighting and some camera things that you may want to consider before making the shift from podcast to YouTube podcast. So let's get started. Why would you even want to take a podcast, an audio podcast, and put it on YouTube? Well, there are some really key advantages, especially for your business. So I hope you're thinking about it, and I hope you're thinking about it seriously, because it could have a much bigger payoff, much quicker payoff than your podcast. I hate to say it, but it's true. I hope you haven't invested a lot of time and effort into your podcast, but if you have, the YouTube side is going to skyrocket everything. First of all, having your business show up in organic search. If you SEO your episodes correctly, unfortunately, Google doesn't know what to do with audio yet. Have you ever done a search? For example, you do a search and you get 1.7 billion results in 0.63 seconds, right? Nowhere and no way did Google scan every podcast that seems to be in that niche or genre. It just doesn't. So how is it going to find those results? Well, it's in the descriptions of the podcast at best, maybe in the title if they get it right. But right now, podcasts are kind of like the bald-headed stepchild of search results. They very rarely pop up. They do, but they very rarely do. Now, it's going to show you, obviously, the websites and stuff like that first. That's what Google does. And second of all, it's going to show you YouTube videos. And in fact, there's a special section for YouTube videos. Do you know why that is? Because Google owns YouTube, that's why. And did you happen to notice that YouTube is also the _2 search engine in the world? Funny how that happens. When your big brother is a search engine, you tend to pick up a few things and get some of the benefits of the hand-me-downs, right? You remember hand-me-downs. Fortunately, I was the giver, not the receiver. But anyway, my younger brother wore a lot of my clothes. But this all plays into an advantage for your business. So first, Google's going to find you on the web. Second, they're going to find you on YouTube. The two work hand in hand together very well. For the engagement, the proper engagement and back and forth with your potential customers, not only do they get to hear you, which is great. That's a fantastic way to get your foot in the door. Not only can they hear you, but they get to see you. There's that know, like, and trust factor that starts to build. And, when you get to see facial expressions and gestures and things like that, you really get a much better sense and a feel for the person that you're talking to. And hopefully they're doing it correctly. Hopefully they are talking to you. You brought up the question, how to start a podcast on YouTube. This is my answer. So now you and I are in a dialogue right now. One of the biggest cautions I can give you when it comes to doing anything, whether it's a podcast or a YouTube channel or YouTube Shorts for your business, do not turn it into a 15-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute commercial. Don't do that. This is all about creating that connection with your audience. The best way to do that, especially if you're in a service business like financial planner, fitness coach, life coach, advertising agency, or any other type of coach. Maybe you're a sales specialist and you teach other organizations how to do sales or anything along those lines where you're teaching content. The perfect thing for YouTube, for your business, is to teach content, especially when it comes to what you're a specialist at. It creates you, it builds you up and creates you as the authority in that niche. So this is the kind of stuff we go over here at this channel, anything from podcasting to YouTube to blogging and what it would take to get your business to start leveraging these assets immediately, if not sooner. So be sure to like and subscribe so you know the next topic that we cover that's going to help you out. Now, the other thing I told you we go over is some of the equipment. I don't want to do a too deep of a dive into this because if you look around on my channel, there are several other videos that cover cameras and lighting and all kinds of good stuff, microphones and recording and editing techniques as well. So, quick overview as far as doing a video situation. You're going to need a camera, you're going to need lighting, you're going to need microphones. Now, if it's just you, if it's just going to be a solo thing, it would be very easy to get started with your smartphone. Prop it up right in front of you, make sure that you have it all squared away, press record, start talking. Now, if you want to do, say, you and a co-host, or maybe you and a guest in another location, and the two of you have got to come together on a video call, then you're starting to talk about expanding some of your equipment. You might need 2 microphones. You'll probably need 2 cameras, maybe a 2-camera setup to cut back and forth. The more you want to do, the more technologically involved it can be. The lighting can start to expand. Then again, you can keep it as simple as go outside and sit underneath a tree. You and your guests can sit outside underneath of a tree. Anything like that, sitting in front of a window, there are certain treatments that you can do to kind of tone that light down. But again, I don't want to do a huge deep dive into something like that. Let's just keep it surface level right now. Microphones. You might need a few extra microphones. And in fact, you might need some for backup purposes. Again, keep it simple. Just to get started, get a flow for it, get a feel for it, and then you can expand from there. And of course, there's always editing software considerations. How are you going to put all this together? You've shot this wonderful footage. Chances are there were a couple of mistakes. I know I'm really good at it. So you want to cut those out of there. Hopefully this video looked really good when I was done with it. And that way you can see that there are going to be some flubs. The nice thing about it is there are some really, really primo software out there that's free. You've got some really simple stuff and you've got some really expensive stuff. Well, the intro version is free, and then if you want, you can buy the full-blown version. There's all kinds of levels out there. Free, paid for, and there's even subscription versions that you pay for on a monthly continuing basis. They're all out there. Getting started for free, I would strongly suggest, simply because you learn so much more from the process and find out, is this really where I want to take this? Is this really what I want to do? Then we'll figure out if you want to expand from there. Now, when it comes to actual topics, do your SEO research. And what I mean by that is, first of all, start with your actual customers. When you're talking to somebody face-to-face, across the desk, at lunch, wherever it is that you start to talk with your customers, your potential customers, what are the questions that they consistently ask over and over and over again? Chances are, and start writing these down, chances are you're going to see about 80% of the questions are repeats. They're consistent from person to person to person. There's a 20% that is probably specifically geared towards their individual situation. But the 80% is something that will definitely get you started. You start answering those questions in your YouTube videos and you are miles ahead of the game. Second of all, do a little deeper dive. A buddy of mine came up with what he calls the leaf technique. This is going to be crucial. Doing SEO research with a proper SEO program like Ahrefs or SEMrush or Ubersuggest, any one of those, to get to the actual questions that are being typed into Google. Trust me, you type something into Google, it does not go to waste. What you specifically typed becomes little something for them to pay attention to in the future. And so now you're finding these questions that people are asking month after month after month. For example, today's question, how to start a podcast on YouTube. There are 10, 20, 40, 60 people asking that exact question every single month. And you know what? Every single month, they're finding this answer. You get a whole bunch of those going and they slowly start to trickle in over and over and over. You find a bunch of those questions and you got a bunch of those trickling into your channel. That's the goal. And what I was getting at earlier, I mentioned, stick around, I've got a huge resource for you. That whole SEO technique is covered in this book by Nate Woodbury, A Hero's Guide to Influence on YouTube. Nate gave me a stack of these to give away, and you can get your copy for shipping. Click down below. There's a link in the description down below. Get your copy right now. This covers everything from starting the channel, the content, the SEO technique I just told you about, all the way to thumbnails, editing, lighting, cameras, you name it. This covers everything. This is going to be your new YouTube Bible. I guarantee it. Keep it within arm's reach. I do. make sure it stays within arm's reach because you're going to be referring to it a lot. So get yours by clicking the link in the description. I'm Nic Natarella with AdWise Creative. Thank you for watching.